Welcome to the O Brother Podcast with hosts Dan and Mike Smith, brothers from the same mother with different opinions on movies, TV, video games, and more, plus celebrity interviews. Get ready, get set, it's time for the O Brother Podcast. Welcome back to the O Brother Podcast. I'm your host, Dan Smith. Alongside me, as always, my brother from the same mother, Mike Smith.
How you doing, Dan? Historic day today.
Remember July 25th.
Remember this day.
Yeah.
Actually, it was a few days ago on Friday night.
Okay.
Vince McMahon.
Yes, you're retired.
You're gone. He's out.
He's out.
Vince McMahon.
Now, is this pressure from the scandal?
Gotta be.
So let's jump right into that. Let's talk a little WWE, which we never do on the O Brother Podcast.
No.
I'm glad you brought this up because I just saw the headline, the breaking news.
Right.
So give us the scoop and let's hear your speculation as to
what's
going on. Because I heard just before that announcement, Triple H returning.
Right.
So, okay, it's all adding up. All
and
right,
the announcement,
folks, this is what we do here at the O Brother Podcast. We just go whichever the way the wind blows, much like Mike's hair right now.
My hair.
Whichever way.
Too long.
But go ahead, give us a scoop.
So a few weeks ago, the story breaks. You know, we all know the stories. Anybody that knows Vince and wrestling knows Vince likes to get fluffy duffy with the girls. And he has a history of it. But apparently he's paid off like 12 million
hush money to different people.
Hush money, you know, to these girls who, I guess it's blatantly open. They used to have it on the show as a bit. So the last 2 weeks, you don't watch really WWE anymore, and I don't really watch it as much as I used to, but I always tune in for the beginning, usually. The last 2 weeks, so the story breaks. Raw on Monday night. It's Monday Night Raw. And out comes Vince. Let's get started with Raw.
Is he doing
just like that? Does the,
Conor McGregor, Vince.
Yeah, does that. Turns around, leaves. That's like an FU. To the news. Does it again on Friday on SmackDown Live. Comes out, welcome to SmackDown Live.
In other words, here I come, Vinny, showing my face. I don't care what
exactly. I'm not going to hide. Okay. Right. So that happens, for a couple of weeks.
Yeah.
And then today we get, Triple H had a heart attack. Paul Levesque, which is his son-in-law, had a heart attack, and he was running the Tuesday night show that's horrible. That's called I don't know, something 2.0. It's a terrible show.
Who cares? Okay.
And every week it's like different people. They can't keep it consistent. It was pretty consistent under Triple H. He has a heart attack and they fire everybody. They fire all the wrestlers. They fired William Regal, who now is in AEW as Steven
we
Regal.
don't need the whole history of the WWE.
I know, but I'm just telling you. So
get to the end.
Apparently the heart attack was really serious. He was out for months.
Yeah.
But he showed his face last week and said, I'm back. But it was really kind of a quiet, I'm back. Well, today he announces, our WWE announces he's back as executive vice president. And now, after that tweet,
yes,
Vince tweets out, I'm 77, time to retire. And then their slogan. And that was it.
Yes. But more aptly, the headline might have been titled, what again? You're fired.
You're fired. I wonder if he really does that in the back when he fires, because he fires people all the time. They have been firing people left and right, yet they're making more money than they've ever made before because of the TV deals.
Remember in the early days of the internet, some of those, was it 411 wrestling? How did I just remember that? Remember some of these
I
sites that you
remember
used to?
that. I
Wasn't it
remember
411
411.
wrestling?
Yeah.
This was like AOL
That's
dial-up
funny.
days.
Right.
Way before
There's a
broadband,
site,
kids.
I'll give them a shout out. There's a site, WrestleTalk.com. They have like close to 1 million followers.
Now make sure we get, is it WrestleTalk.com?
WrestleTalk.com. It's a bunch of kids over in the UK that you can tell they grew up in the post-Hogan era. You know,
so British Bulldog
like,
fans, perhaps?
No, CM Punk, which we never really knew who he was. But so that's big news.
All right, big news. Yeah. I did not think we'd be kicking off this episode with a WWE breaking headline story, but okay, there you go, folks.
You never know.
Vinnie Mac is no longer.
Vinnie Mac.
That's the end of an era.
Probably gave some jack from the WWE board to these girls, is what I'm thinking.
Some
like if the money comes out of his pocket and he pays off these girls, it's not a crime. It's a gesture of love.
Wow. And another one bites the dust, folks. All right.
So Dan, you've been on the best coast, as I like to call it.
That's right. I just got back from the West Coast, had a West Coast trip out there. But before I get into that, I have to mention this. So before I leave town, and I'm gonna speak in some generalities here, just to protect the guilty. But so I put in the show notes. If you see under the show notes, I got you probably wonder what is this that he's going to talk about.
Probably scratched it off.
I'm in a public restroom.
Yeah.
Not going to say where. And I realize there's somebody because I'm in one of the stalls, and I realize there's somebody in the stall next to me, which is never a comfortable thing.
Orlando International.
No. It's not actually. It's a business. Let's leave it at that.
All right.
So I kid you not. Not only is this person clearly, you remember Austin Powers? Who does number 2 work for? The Mike Myers bit.
Yeah.
This person was singing while they were in the stall doing their business,
trying to cover up the sounds.
No cover up. Just very comfortable in their own defecating skin, and they're literally singing while they're doing their business. And I'm not kidding. It was like, think of your, hum your favorite tune. Like you were like, honest. I mean, it was so obvious and loud, the grunting and the forceful, good luck with the hemorrhoids. But I just, oh my God.
Was he doing it, do you think, to be like obnoxious to other people?
No, because I can't elaborate, but I'm aware of I was aware of this individual previously. And that's all I can say. Again, I can't go into details. I've consulted with my attorneys. They tell me I can't say any more about it. But it's just, you and I have had one of the best, and I'm going to air it out here, pardon the pun, on the Oh Brother podcast. But you and I, can you remember what I'm going to talk
Dairy
about?
Queen?
It's Dairy Queen. Brought to you by
I can't believe I
Dairy Queen
it.
soft serve. So Mike and I are in a Dairy Queen in Florida, and we were both going to take a restroom break. We were going to buy a Blizzard, and then we were just taking off.
The basketball game just got out. We're on the way home. From
that's right. We're on the way home from a Magic game because we used to have season tickets. And so we go into this public restroom. Now, this is not a public. This is like
this is
what? It's a single.
This is the back room. This is like a back door. You go outside the restaurant. There's a door.
Oh, was it? I thought it was inside.
No, You had to
that's
go
neat.
around the back.
Yeah, that's
Because
neither
we
here
were
nor
we were
there.
like, "Oh, do you have a restroom?" And they said,
Okay,
"Yeah,
right.
just go around back."
Well,
And so
we
we see
opened
the
the
door,
door to go
restroom.
in. Yeah,
It's
we
not
opened the door to
locked.
go in. It's not locked. Open the door, and lo and behold,
The
there's
guy
no
doing
stall.
his
It's almost like this
it's
guy
just
was
a
in an outhouse,
it's
you
just
know, or
it's a
like a Jurassic
huge
Park when the toilet gets blown away and he's just sitting there in the toilet. We open the door where we come face to face with this guy on the toilet in mid business.
and it's like a warehouse the size of the bathroom.
It's not even that
And
big.
and then we're the two of us he's just looking at us. Didn't
Yeah, he
stop.
was not
Didn't
phased.
wasn't
This
phased.
was
It's like
not
it's
his
always
first rodeo. He was not phased. He didn't flinch. I mean, he
no, it's
just,
like this happens to me all the time. Don't worry about it.
yeah, how you doing, fellas?
So we
And
shut the
so,
door.
yeah.
We go get our Blizzard, and then I think we went back to take a leak, and we find out that there's a lock on the door. The guy could have locked the door, and
he
he
was
never
he was
did.
welcoming all visitors. Yeah, that's a great memory there. Oh my gosh. So
I can't
anyways,
believe that when you said it, I
you knew
instantly
exactly.
went to Dairy
Well,
Queen.
that tends
Wow.
to leave a lasting impact on your
That
brain.
and it was the look on his face, like, "Yeah? Mhm.
Right. Can I help
Yeah,
you?
I'm
Yeah.
taking a dump."
Yeah. Do you want to know today's specials? Yeah. All right. So as you mentioned, I just got back from a trip out to Northern California, and it was beautiful. Weather, of course, was beautiful. I know, Mike, for listeners know that you spent many years in SoCal and
Yeah,
San
love it.
Diego. So it's a little bit of a different pace up north. But so, anyways, had a nice trip out there, and I haven't traveled a lot. So this is I haven't taken a flight since. Well, actually, I guess when I came to see you guys last month. But I caught a handful of movies.
Films. Yeah.
Yeah, to and from. And so I finally, and I think some folks out there I know will be happy to hear this. I finally watched Free Guy, which it took
Right.
me forever. I own it. I haven't even seen it. Here I am watching it on a
Right,
Delta
on the
flight.
plane.
So, yeah, so I watched Free Guy. I thought
Now,
that was really good.
when we talked about it on the Rexer show, and
Right. And I was
the
saying how,
feeling was it was okay. And
well,
I
I hadn't
thought
seen it. Oh,
right,
you're the
but I
feeling on
said
the show.
but the
Yeah.
rest of us were like, "Yeah, it's okay." And Rexer pointed out that it had a lot of bad language because he sat
Right. I remember
down to
because his
watch it with his
kids.
son.
Right.
And I didn't even think of that when I was watching it, but you just saw it. So,
Yeah, and at the time I'd said, "Yeah, kind of Ryan Reynolds out, and this looked similar to some other movies that had just come out." I felt like so, but anyways, I gave it a shot, and I really enjoyed it. I thought it was funny.
yeah.
It's not. It didn't come off as super original, but it was enjoyable. I felt like it was a template that I've seen before.
Yeah.
Um, so I'm not sure I give it a high marks in terms of originality, but it was super enjoyable.
And I said, "Well, if you don't like Ryan Reynolds, you got really 2 Ryan Reynolds. You got an old and a young one because the kid
That's right.
acted just like him,
Well, no.
'cause it was him.
You're thinking of the other movie.
Free Guy.
No, that's not Free Guy. That's another. I can't even think of the
What
name
am
of
I
it now.
thinking
But
of?
you're thinking, yeah, that's like Benjamin Button's kind of film that he was just in.
What was Free Guy?
Free Guy was when he's a background character in a video game,
Right.
right? And
Okay.
you remember? Is it
Yeah, I'm
coming to you
getting
now?
lost. I think I'm mixing the 2 up in my
You
head.
are mixing the two up. Yeah,
Yeah.
there's no younger version of him in it. But
Okay, yeah.
who's funny in it? He has a little bit of a cameo. Is Channing Tatum is actually very funny in it. I thought.
Yeah. Now, okay, now I'm with it.
So
Yeah, no, that one we liked.
Yeah, so
it was
Free
better.
Guy was good. I also saw oh, this is
I can't
old.
believe you haven't seen it.
I mean either, but Inglorious Bastards
Yeah.
by Quentin Tarantino. I thought this was fantastic, which is no duh, to anybody listening now,
Right.
but
But
Christoph
again,
Waltz is just
right.
phenomenal in it.
Again, though, a lot of
Michael Fassbender,
wasn't Kurt Reynolds in this one, or was
Kurt
that a different one?
Reynolds.
Yeah,
Who's
okay.
Kurt Reynolds?
I
That
mean,
was a mashup of about 15 people. Kurt, can we break that down a little
Kurt
bit?
Russell. That
Kurt
was
Russell, Kirk
Ryan
Douglas,
Reynolds.
Ryan Reynolds, Burt
Yeah.
Reynolds. He was great in Smokey and the Free Guy. I love that.
See,
film.
we haven't been doing movies, and I'm all over the place.
You're all over the place.
But I was thinking of Kurt Russell.
Kurt Russell, no, he's not.
But okay,
not
that
in
was a different one then.
Yeah, yeah, that
Another.
was yeah, he played a young version of himself.
Brad Pitt's in this one.
Brad Pitt is yes, correct, exactly.
Yeah.
Really, really good.
Lot
good.
of language.
Yeah, a lot of language,
you
but
know,
violence.
Yeah, I mean, if you're going to watch,
Tarantino.
It's Tarantino, so
It's
you know what
Tarantino.
you get.
But of the ones I've seen, and I've seen just about all of his, this right now is like at the very top. I enjoyed it that much. I haven't finished it, but I saw most of Encanto, and I've seen like about 3/4 of it because then the we were about to land, so I had to shut it off. But and I enjoyed that too. Kind of what I would expect.
See why it won the Academy Award.
I do. Yeah, very, very sweet.
Yeah.
And those were the films I caught during my travels.
Okay.
It was the most movies I've seen since I think we did the Oscar run up.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, go ahead.
No, go.
So another one, I got to say this up top. Folks, we're not even into the meat of the episode yet. Okay, so you sent me this, and I finally got a chance when I got off the plane and got home and got settled that night, which was super late. I didn't get in my place until like 3:00 in the morning.
Wow, was that late?
It was so late because I had an Uber from the airport. It was a whole thing.
Yeah, that was a long Uber because you texted me when you were in the Uber.
It was, yeah.
Wow.
But I watched the Halloween Ends trailer,
and
I'm going to tell you right now, folks, as a long time super fan of this franchise, I'm telling you right now, you heard it here on Oh Brother. This is going to be just as bad, if not worse, than Halloween Kills.
Yeah.
And I can already tell by this trailer, I don't need Laurie Strode dropping an MF. I don't need that gratuity, that gratuitous, language. And it really seems like they're going full steam ahead with just taking everything that was great in the first couple and then just trying to recreate it, right, for nostalgia. And I don't need that. I want an original story, even if it is Halloween we're talking about.
And it looks like a lot of unknown players. Like last one, it was like, let's get everybody from any Halloween that's still alive.
Yes.
Put them in this movie and kill them.
Even if they're not, maybe you can prop up their corpse.
Right.
Quick cameo.
Let's kill everyone.
Well, matter of fact, they did that. They did it with Donald Pleasance.
Right. So,
but this is just
this one looks like
as bad.
Just random people.
Yeah, and I did
that we don't know.
I did not like Halloween Kills. There were a couple of things I liked in Halloween Kills, but most of it I just was not.
What a shame, because they got off.
They really did.
To such a good start with Halloween 2018. It was like, wow, it's reborn.
It makes me wish that Rob Zombie was still at the helm, or at least had an opportunity to finish that series that he did. It was Tyler Mane. It was such a good Michael Myers.
Yeah, he was so big.
Such a giant, Anyways, so I just wanted to give my thoughts on that trailer since you shared it with me, and it's out now for anybody that hasn't seen it yet. So I wouldn't encourage you to run out and check out the trailer, just as much as I'm not going to say don't rush to see this film. I'll probably see it when it comes on demand.
Well, hopefully it'll be like last one where I got to see it on Peacock or something
Mm-hmm.
the same day it was in
Yes,
theaters,
that's right.
and
That's
so
right.
I didn't have to pay money to get disappointed.
All right, let's pivot now. You wanted to talk about
Well,
one of your favorite directors.
yeah,
Moving into a conversation
we've
about
talked
Billy
about our
Wilder.
famous movies a lot,
Our
whether it's
favorite movies, you mean?
Godfather, our favorite movies, yeah.
Yeah.
And we've talked about our favorite actors,
hmm
Pacino, Brando, etc. And there's one guy I never brought up. Well, I think in my favorite movies I did have one of his, but it's Billy Wilder. I got, finally, although I had caught up, and we're going to do that topic next with Succession. I finally caught up and
Yeah.
watched all 3 seasons, which,
The
man,
leader, the
those are
leader,
long episodes.
the leader in Emmy nominations, but we'll get
But
to
I
that.
snuck in a couple of the first one's The Lost Weekend.
hmm
And again, these are Billy Wilder. He did everything. Wrote,
You're holding up. Is that
directed.
just the straight Blu-ray you're holding up there?
Yeah, The
Okay.
Lost Weekend. There is no,
Okay, that's the only
ironically, yeah. What's the one I just watched with Fred McMurray in it?
Double Indemnity.
Double Indemnity just
Yeah.
came out on Criterion. And then
Stalag 17.
yeah, have you seen this?
There's one I've not seen. No, that's a
Both of these
classic.
movies. Now, ironically, the Fred McMurray film didn't even win an Oscar. These won the Oscars, and I got a chance to rewatch them. Highly recommend watching
Now,
them.
those are
So
both Billy Wilder films?
both Billy Wilder movies.
Jeez, I didn't know
He's
that.
got
Okay.
like 25 movies at
Amazing.
least,
Yeah.
and he's got a top 10 I'd put against anyone with Sunset
Mhm.
Boulevard.
Yeah, we'll have to
Uh,
do a deep dive on him one episode.
yeah,
Really kinda
he's was so good,
hmm,
and he's got six Oscars. Not bad,
it's impressive.
not bad. And
Alright,
also
moving
one
yeah.
more. I'm gonna
Uh-huh.
one
Oh,
more
you got another
movie
is this Billy Wilder?
of no. This is Stanley Kubrick. His second
Oh,
movie. Can you read it?
Killer's Kiss?
Killer's Kiss. Now, do you
What
have The
is
Killing?
this?
Did I send you The
Yeah.
Killing?
Mhm.
It's on The Killing. But this is Killer's
Oh,
Kiss in 4K. And it's only like an hour-long movie.
wow.
And it's an
Okay.
extra on The Killing.
Right.
And this is in 4K and it has a commentary on it. So that's what I'm going to be checking out this weekend.
Killer's Kiss, okay. So and then you can give
Killer's
us,
Kiss.
now you've seen it?
I saw it when I got the Criterion, The Killing,
Okay.
but
Alright,
that's
so
been
it's
a while.
yeah, but it's not a new viewing for you.
No.
Alright. Alright, so let's pivot away and, move into some streaming talk because you just as
Yeah,
you mentioned a few minutes ago, you just finished Succession, all 3 seasons.
I did. And I have a different take. You were really, really high on it. I think it's excellent. I think it's very good,
Mhm.
but I don't put it in the top tier of TV shows. Like it's not on the level of a Breaking Bad or a Saul. It's not there. It's kind of a click below it. And we talked about Severance too. And that, which one was better. And you clearly thought Succession was better.
Mhm.
I think Severance does a better job telling a story, but Succession really knows how to close the story. Although I'm going to
Yeah,
give you my biggest problem with it.
right.
They tell the same story twice about not the oldest son, who's a doofus, but the second son, which is Kendall. they tell the same story with him backstabbing twice. And I thought it's a waste of my time. You could have done this in 2 seasons, the 3 seasons. That's my take.
Yeah, that's very vague because you're talking sort of, trying to talk spoiler free, but
Yeah.
what I would say to that kind of pushing back a little bit on that, I think you go back and the motivation behind each one is different though. So if you go back, the motivation is a little bit different, the second time around. And I wouldn't say it's not. I'm not necessarily saying it's better than Severance they're very different.
Very
And
different.
I think even with Breaking Bad and Saul, that you can't. They're just different. They're different.
Yeah.
Different stories. Yeah, they're all in the drama category. But look at Emmy nominations made it clear. 25. It's leading the pack.
Let's see.
And that's ahead of Ted Lasso.
I thought
That's
it was
ahead
14.
25.
Oh, okay. It's 14 in the drama category.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Yeah,
That's what I saw because
I'm just talking total nominations. So
okay.
the Emmys it's going to be the 74th Emmys, and it's on September 12th on NBC and Peacock. And now it's interesting because they're not, as I guess I think the Emmys used to, if I read this correctly, they used to sort of have an acknowledgement of the networks. This network has the most nominations. They've pulled back on that now because of the way streaming has kind of clouded that whole thing. You've got like 9 different companies that are wrapped. Like, for example, you got HBO, but then you have HBO Max. You have Disney that owns Hulu and all these different things. So
right.
Do you add them all together as one total category, or do you say Hulu has this many nominations and Disney has this many, right? So
yeah, but after they win, aren't the companies themselves going to say congratulations to?
Yeah, well, it's just that the Emmys are pulling back and saying the creators can do whatever they want,
Right.
Aggregate it however you want.
Yeah.
All we're going to say is the shows. That's what matters, which made me think is kind of interesting. It makes me think about our argument about the Oscars and award shows in general. Make it about like enough of this, like pitting them against each other and that whole old antiquated format. Let's make it a push towards celebrating the art form. They could do that and they can do that with the Emmys, right?
Right.
But so their focus is more, this show has this many noms, this show has this many, and that's really all they're worried about. But as you said, the companies, they're going to, because there's different revenue streams there. They're
right. Like
Netflix I'm sure it's
going
profitable for them to advertise and market that in different ways.
Yeah.
Right. Especially if they got a shit ton of noms in for Hulu, but like nothing over here, right? So they can just segment it if they want. Ted Lasso is second highest with 20. No surprise there. And then
I still have only seen the first 2 shows.
You got to get back into that one.
I can't. Yeah.
The third highest, well, it's actually tied with Ted Lasso, and I have not seen this. I'm aware of it, but The White Lotus has 20 nominations, and I haven't seen that one yet. But
in the drama category, there was one that was right behind Succession with 13, and Succession had 14.
It's going to be interesting.
We're seeing different ways of them.
Think about it. You've got you mentioned Severance, Ted Lasso, both on Apple TV. We've been talking about Loot recently. That's on Apple TV. So you figure you come next year's 75th Emmys, Apple TV is probably going to be up in that conversation because the past 3 or 4 years, it's been Netflix and HBO back and forth, trading blows and total noms and stuff. So it's pretty interesting. It's pretty, but right now, if you were to focus on the nominations in total by network, HBO would have an edge over Netflix. And that's why, like Netflix, they don't like that. They don't want it to be counted that way. But
now, what about did Disney Plus, did any of the Star Wars stuff get nominated or no?
I didn't
Effects, I
drill.
would think.
I'm imagining. I was just looking at the top, the
Okay.
leaders, and so it was kind of a quick dive into it.
Now,
And we'll probably do a run up to the Emmys at some point, but
yeah, when is it?
September
When are they?
12th. September
Oh, not
12th.
till September.
Hmm.
Wow. They
Yeah.
already announced them.
Yeah.
Okay,
Well, they're gonna, with 20 this is all, it's like the football, right? The
right.
2 weeks, 3 weeks before the Super Bowl.
Now this isn't streaming, but staying in the same vein, I want to talk about Saul
Oh
because
yeah.
they're
Better
back
Call Saul. Yep.
for their last. We got now only 4 episodes left,
Four
which
four left. Okay.
4 left. And tonight, if this is the 25th, there's a show tonight.
Mhm.
So 3 left after tonight.
Yeah.
And I'm telling you, the first 2 shows, wow.
I have to say, the only comment I got to make after watching the most recent episode, which
Yeah,
is the
I didn't
second
think,
of
I
the,
wondered if you'd like this.
uh, no, and this may not be where you think I'm going to go with it. It's a very quick comment, which is just I felt like when we got to the end of this episode,
Yeah.
now it was starting to feel a little rushed. Like, oh, they only have 4 episodes left, and here they're pulling it together. Not, it wasn't crazy, but just it felt a little bit like, okay, they got to start really getting to,
Well, they
he's
did do a
full on
time
Saul
jump.
now.
They did do a time
Oh,
jump.
I know, but even then, it just seemed a little bit rapid fire for me, you
But
know?
so far, the first 2 episodes have gotten written. Uh, wow. I don't know what
Let's
I
try
was
that
trying to
again.
say.
Let's give that again in English.
Both episodes got rid of a character. So we
Yeah,
lost
and,
somebody in the first one,
yeah,
and we knew we were going to lose these people because they don't show up in Breaking Bad. And
this,
this is a prequel.
the performances in this, episode were fantastic.
That's
Fantastic.
what I wanted to say. I think
Yeah, really good.
Bob Odenkirk and Rhea Seehorn, if they don't win the Emmy for that show,
Yeah, it's
something's
really good.
wrong.
It's really good. Really, really good.
Something's wrong because they both keep getting, like Goliath with Billy Bob Thornton. He
Mhm.
beat out Bob Odenkirk twice.
Yeah.
And I thought he was great, but man, Saul has been solid.
Saul speaks for itself.
Yeah.
It'd be sad to see it wind down, but, I can't wait to see what they do with these remaining episodes.
Yeah.
A show that I'm watching that I started here's another one on Apple TV, that I started watching. I may have mentioned this to you, but it just premiered like a week or two ago. It's called Blackbird, and this
Blackbird
is
sitting on
starring
the edge of
Taron
town.
Egerton
Oh yeah, who we all know.
from Kingsman,
Yep.
and he was in Rocket Man, and
Yeah, he was like all over the place and then he disappeared.
yeah. So, anyways, he's starring in this. Also starring in this, I'll just give you the rundown on like the top cast. Paul Walter Hauser. Do you know who that is?
It's the name's familiar.
He played Richard Jewell,
Oh yeah, okay.
right,
Mhm.
in the bombing, the
Yeah.
documentary on the
Yeah,
bombing.
I know. He's a
And
comedian actually.
yeah, so he's in this. He was also in Cruella, I think, as one of her goons, I
That's
believe,
right. That's
right?
right. Yeah.
His
Mhm.
birthday, he shares a birthday with another famous individual, by the way,
Yes.
October 15th.
Oh yeah, one of the greatest actors of our time.
Yeah, Mike Smith from the O
Yeah,
Brother
wow.
podcast. Yeah.
Unbelievable.
I don't know how you say her name, but Sepida or Sepida, it's Sepideh. So I apologize if I'm getting that
I
wrong.
know
And
that name.
yeah, she last name is again, I'm sure I'm butchering her name, so I apologize, but Mofi, it's Moafi, I think. She was in the L Word. She was on that
Oh,
series,
okay.
The L Word, which is really
Right.
popular. She plays what is she, like an FBI agent in this or something? Detective of some kind. Greg Kinnear's in this. Who remember Greg Kinnear from back? What was it? Movie Time. on Comedy Central before it was Comedy Central? To give folks a history lesson on what Comedy Central was originally years ago. We're
Wow,
talking
okay.
1989,
Right.
90.
This is when you first moved to Florida.
It's when I first
There
moved
was
down.
2 channels. There was just
Oh, yes.
H-A.
That's right.
That was on MTV.
Didn't it
And
have
then
an
there
exclamation
was
point? It was "ha" with an exclamation point? I don't know.
maybe. So there was and there was the Comedy Channel. Now
The Comedy
one
Channel.
right. The Comedy Channel we used to watch when I was home, which I used to take days off during the week and work on the weekends.
Right.
We used to watch Higgins, Boys, and Gruber.
Higgins White. Now, Steve Higgins, for those that
Higgins.
don't know, first of all, he's a longtime SNL
Yeah.
person behind the scenes, primarily, writer and all of that. But he's also Jimmy Fallon's
Announcer.
Announcer. Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, he's still going. His brother I don't see around.
That's where isn't that where we got the Joe McDokes?
That was from their show.
So Comedy Channel.
No, actually they showed the Comedy Channel showed Joe McDokes.
Showed Joe McDokes. Okay. Yeah. Maybe we can get
Onion
a little
World.
Joe McDokes. Onion World, Rich Hall.
Yeah, Rich Hall.
Yeah, Rich Hall.
So anyways, those were the 2. They had some live stuff like Higgins, Boys, and Gruber were live every afternoon.
Wasn't it something before Comedy Channel, or it then because it was just trailers? It was just movie trailers with Greg Kinnear.
No, that was So Ha was a bunch of stand-up.
Yes.
But you're thinking of Movie Time. Movie Time's the third one that was just movie trailers.
And it was Greg Kinnear was the host.
Was he the host?
Yes.
Because I remember,
and they cycled a couple of Talk Soup, right? Talk Soup with Greg Kinnear.
Right.
Which didn't Joe McHale take that over eventually? And then it became the Soup.
I think Joe McHale followed Greg Kinnear through.
We're getting things a little twisted up, but
point
is, Greg Kinnear didn't cut his teeth as a dramatic actor.
No. And and the Comedy Channel merged to become Comedy Central, which is what it is today.
Not Okay.
Brother.
All right. So anyways, Ray Liotta, he passed away in May of this year.
Mm-hmm.
And at the end of the 3rd episode, there's a memoriam to him.
Right.
Because he stars in this too. He has a co-starring role.
That's like, Succession. Who the executive producers are?
Yeah, if you told me, I'd remember. Yeah. Because I've seen every single
one of them's
episode.
Will Ferrell.
Oh, yeah. Right.
Will Ferrell and Adam McKay.
Mm-hmm.
So longtime comedy people. Okay.
Yeah. Okay. So anyways, so Blackbird, I just wanted to talk about Blackbird for a minute. So it's inspired by a true story. And essentially Taron Egerton's character, he's kind of living a bit of a wayward life. He's a bit of a 2-bit, criminal, let's say. And he's facing this 10-year sentence. And then the cops make a deal with him and they say, if you can elicit a confession from this guy played by Paul Walter Hauser's character, if you can elicit a confession from him about these murders that we're investigating, we'll get you out of here. No time served. That's kind of the premise of the series. Okay. So it's got 4 episodes out so far.
Are you caught up with Loot? I'm not.
Can I finish talking about Blackbird real quick?
Sorry.
Okay. So Blackbird on Apple TV. No, I'm not. I'm behind. I'm behind on Loot, but an episode. Okay. So yeah.
The other thing I wanted to bring up when we were talking about Succession and Severance.
Yeah.
Dude, the crossover of characters. There were 2 characters that were in both. Like the heavy dude.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
He was in both. It's weird.
Great way
to
to refer to him. I'm sure he appreciates that. The heavy dude.
I don't know his name.
Maybe do your research ahead of time and come up with a
I
name,
know.
would you?
I didn't know I was gonna
He's
bring it
very,
up.
very funny. He's very funny.
Yeah.
All right, so,
We're gonna
before we
land
all
the
right, one
plane.
other show that's coming back
Yeah.
that we don't have a lot of details on yet, but we're hoping to maybe share some here in the not too distant future, is a show that we were big fans of. We've
Mhm.
had some of the folks affiliated with it on the show before, and that's Everyone is Doing Great, which was the brainchild of James Lafferty and Stephen Coletti, who
Mhm.
were from One Tree Hill, and a lot of folks would know them from that
Yeah.
series. But the first season, which is all that's out right now, ended up on Hulu. They got it picked
Right.
up on Hulu. It was great.
Very
It
funny.
was great. I forget, was it like 8 or 9 episode
I th I
season?
think it was 8,
Yeah.
and, it was bizarre because they made the pilot, and it didn't get greenlit for, like, a year, and it looked
It's
I mean, they all look the same.
it's a hidden gem, and, of course, a friend of the show, Johnny Durango, is also behind the scenes on that show, and so it was exciting to see that they finally put out some teasers on social media, on Instagram. If you follow any of those guys, James Lafferty, Stephen Coletti, Johnny Durango, any of the
The
Michelle
Nelms
Lang, I think,
brothers.
the Nelms brothers, Michelle Lang, they kind of all put it out on their social, but
Yeah.
so super excited. Hopefully we can get some more information on how that's going to roll out, when we might expect it. I think it's in the early stages of writing, is my guess from what I've seen online. But
And the voice you hear introducing "Oh Brother" is was
Carissa
in
Lee
the
Staples,
yes, Carissa Lee
that's
Staples
right.
is a
Yep,
part of
she's
it,
in it,
so
and Deborah Baker Jr., who we also had
that's
on the
right.
show. She was in it. She was hilarious
Yeah,
in the
she
show.
was.
Now, okay, so as we wind down, all right, we have not really given a shout out or proper credit to one of our loyal listeners, Paul,
Yeah.
who is just he's so great. He's very supportive. He's always dropping comments out on our YouTube channel. And before we get into this, I would just want to say, for those of you that are not currently following us, make sure that you do. Easiest way is to go out to the official website, which is OHB as in brother podcast.com. That's ohbpodcast.com. You can also go out to Instagram, very active on Instagram, which is at OHB Podcast. We're on all podcast platforms. No matter where you listen or stream your podcast, you can find Oh Brother there. And we would appreciate it. Love to get some more interaction from the listeners, whether you leave us some comments on our social media posts or in response to our YouTube videos. And please subscribe and like our videos out there. We appreciate everybody that has been supporting our most recent episodes. They've been doing very well out on YouTube, so appreciate that. And we are so close to getting
10,000.
Mulan up to 10,000. So if you haven't seen that episode, please go out, like, and subscribe.
Just click on it.
Let's get that to 10,000. And so we really appreciate it. We do have a listener line too. And at some point I'd like to take some calls on the air, but the
But
numbers. Go
I
ahead.
wanna go back to Paul before we
Well,
jump
we're not.
over that.
I'm circling
Oh,
back
okay,
around,
okay,
Paul.
go ahead,
Yeah, I'm
go
not just
ahead.
going to say that and that's it.
Okay, I thought you were
No,
done.
I got a
thought you were
whole
moving
thing. I got a
on.
whole chunk on Paul we're going to
Alright,
do.
alright.
But 407-476-8781 is the Oh Brother Podcast listener line. Somebody call us and leave a voicemail, preferably with no profanity, but we would appreciate however you reach out to us.
Heavy breathing
Reach out.
is fine.
Heavy breathing is yeah, we'll forward those over to Mike's personal voicemail. Last thing I want to say, and then we get back into this conversation related to Paul, is I'm very excited because we've got some interviews coming up that
Yeah.
I just cannot wait. One in particular that I cannot wait to we haven't even conducted the interview yet, but it's gonna I'm just excited. I want to say more about it, but that'll be coming in the next few weeks. But we're really sort of lining up a handful of conversations we're gonna we're going to publish on the show. So I know your site, we're already sort of getting prepared for those.
Mhm.
So stay tuned for more details on some upcoming guest interviews that we got on the O Brother podcast. Okay, back to Paul.
Yeah.
So set it up here. Paul left a comment on one of our recent
Yeah.
episodes on YouTube.
Right. And I responded to his comment, and I said, I think maybe he just wrote it, but I thought I responded and said, "Hey, what do you got for ideas?" Because he's really cool. He always seems to check us out.
He was
Always,
like loaded and ready to go with
and
his
man, he
ideas.
writes this long,
Mhm.
like page long,
Yeah.
I suggestions.
Mhm.
And some of them, like I was like, "Oh, that will be a great show." So one of them, he talked about, talk about shows that we grew up
Favorite
on.
TV shows. Yeah.
Yeah, I definitely want to do that episode. Um, he, yeah, that's one of yours.
This is one I'm
This
going
is
to
the
talk.
thing.
What am I
Uh,
holding up here?
that's the Hulk.
Season 1 of The Incredible Hulk.
Yeah, I'm surprised it's it's
Physical media.
physical. Yeah,
Well, it's Lou Ferrigno, Incredible Hulk.
yeah.
Bill Bixby. Come
Bill
on.
Bixby. So that was one of the ideas, which I thought is great because
We're
we
not going to
come
get into
from
that now.
different.
I got a whole list of shows here. We're going to, all
Yeah,
right, this is going to be a
no,
separate Paul exclusive.
yeah, it's going to be because
It's a fan
we're from
exclusive
different
episode.
generations,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
so
Well,
that's going to be a great show.
I won't hold it up so I don't spoil anything, but I've got at least a dozen already listed.
Yeah, and I've got a bunch in my head.
Now, he also wanted to talk about favorite, I think, stars growing up
Yeah,
as related to that, but then toys. What I loved about this is he says toys that you wanted as a
yeah,
kid but didn't get and thought about getting as an adult.
right.
That's fascinating
And
to me.
again, the different generations is going to
Mhm.
make for some interesting.
Yeah, the sad thing is you probably have since bought those toys that you wanted and now have as an adult.
I think I do.
You probably
And
do.
uh, he mentioned the movie Elvis, which we haven't talked about
Haven't
at
seen
all.
it
It
yet.
tanked,
I'm
right?
Yeah, I haven't seen it.
Totally
I
tanked.
got it. Well, yeah, not if you ask anybody affiliated with the film, obviously, but I just I don't know. I don't have high hopes for it at all. And
And
we should say that Dad, our father, was
a
one of the biggest
huge
Elvis
Elvis
fans on
guy.
the planet. Yeah.
Huge. I think there's still some records
Oh no, there
probably
are.
worth some money.
Oh yeah, those Sun Records.
But it's done by Baz Luhrmann, who's done some
Give
unbelievable.
that name again.
Baz Luhrmann.
Baz Luhrmann.
Luhrmann. I thought it was
Continuing
Thurman.
continuing another streak.
I always
Here on
thought
the
it
O
was
Brother podcast.
TH.
You know who I think was in that was Kirk Russell. I think Kirk Russell starred in that.
He did oh god, I can't think of the
Baz
movie.
Luhrmann.
Yeah, Baz Luhrmann did the one with Nicole Kidman. He does big like musical productions. And
Oh, you talking about Moulin Rouge
Moulin Rouge.
with
Thank
Ewan
you.
McGregor from
Wow.
Kenobi series.
Yeah.
What am I,
And that
chopped
was
liver over here? Come
that
on,
was
it's the O Brother
fantastic.
podcast.
I'm looking
It's
for it.
It's a midnight run for Christ's
Yeah,
sake.
I'm looking at it for it, and I don't even know what letter to look for. So
I like that I was about to board a plane, by the way, and Mike decides it would be wise to drop some airplane crash humor on me.
I always do that.
But it was a great line by the late, great Charles
John King.
Grodin.
Yeah.
And what was that line again? These things, they're
These
too
things
big.
go down. They go down.
Yeah.
So I wrote, "Have a good flight" with a plane emoji, and then I wrote, "These things go down."
Yeah. Thanks for
And then
putting that in
something
my
else.
head.
There was a follow-up line. I forget.
It's a midnight run. It's an easy gig.
Yeah.
It's a midnight run for Christ's sake.
Midnight run. I used to always say to people that were getting on a plane when
Yeah.
I'd say, "Don't crash." And they would look at me like, "Oh my God, how could
Yeah.
you say that?"
Have a moderately safe flight. All right. So, hey, before we wrap up here, I just realized I had these. I wanted to pull this out. So, individual that I work with, good friend of mine, I came into my office at the day gig a few weeks back. I come in and these are spread out all over my office, all over my desk. And he had snuck in when I wasn't there and left these.
This isn't the guy from the Dairy Queen, I hope.
No, that was another surprise that got left. But fortunately, it wasn't a bunch of those. But this was, check this out.
These baseball cards?
These are baseball cards. Now, I historically collect hockey cards.
Right.
And I've got a lot of Boston Bruins cards, but I've never really collected baseball cards. Well, he had a collection, and he had all of these. These are all the same player.
Who is it?
Well, I'll tell you in a second. So when we were in the 80s, you know, when the Red Sox really just were stinkers.
Well, they were in 86. They went to
sure. And this player was part of that roster.
Oh, okay.
And it was Wade Boggs, number 26, third base Boggs.
And he left us for the Yankees.
Wade Boggs. So these are all Wade Boggs cards.
Are they both Yankees and Red Sox?
I think you know what? I didn't see if there was any. I think these are all.
Didn't he go to the
I don't think he went to it. Wasn't it like Chicago?
No, he went to the Yankees and he won.
No, that's not true.
Wait, no, maybe I'm
that's
thinking
not
of someone
true.
else.
That's not true. That's not true.
Wait, didn't Wade Boggs went to the Yankees?
Anyways, there's some awesome Red Sox Wade Boggs cards. So anyways, I'm going to have to start a new binder with my baseball collecting. So shout out to Landon for hooking me up with these cards.
You know, I'm telling you, the TFTs and the electronic baseball cards save a lot of space instead of all that physical stuff.
Nice try. Nice try. Hey, last thing I want to do, I just want to take a second here and give a shout out to my partner's daughter, who is a really creative artist, and she does a lot of things. But I said to her, she did this painting a short time ago, and I was like, wow, that's really good. And it was on this little sort of canvas. I said, oh, she's, you know, I should commission her to do a piece of artwork for me. And so her other daughter sketched out this thing, and I gave her kind of an idea about Shadow, my cat, who's been featured on the show from time to time on our Instagram page. And I sort of said, you know, maybe something with, you know, pumpkins and in the fall and, you know, black cat, you know, that theme. So her one daughter sketches this out like on a piece of paper in minutes, has this whole thing drawn up. And then her oldest daughter produces this.
I like it.
Isn't that awesome?
Yeah. Is
So
that like Shadow sitting on the moon?
It's Shadow sitting on the moon.
That's awesome.
And she's sitting over a pumpkin patch.
That's great.
Isn't that fantastic?
Yeah.
So I said to her, you know, she's got to start like her own Etsy shop or
is she the
something.
Is she the musician?
I'm going to have her do an Oh Brother logo canvas for us. She can do that.
Is she the musician?
Yes. Well, they're both musicians. They're just, you know, off the charts.
Creative.
Very creative. Yeah. Just like their mother. So anyways, anything for the good of the order here before we wind this one down?
Let's wind it up.
We got a lot in on this episode.
Yeah, it was a long show. Nobody's going to stick for this long.
Well, let's hope so. We need all the help we can get. All right, coming soon. The fan exclusive Paul.
Also,
70s, 80s, 90s.
Nobody's going to get 50s, to this 60s point, but
TV show episode.
Can
you stop? Hold a sec. I asked you.
I know.
Can you stop with that?
I know.
It's a weird, like, knee jerk you've got. But go ahead.
I know, but
yeah,
we tried this before when we were all movies. We gave away movies.
Yeah,
every week we used to give away, and nobody wanted our free movies.
And I'm not giving this away.
But I have some double dip movies from like Criterion Collection.
Donate them to the library, please.
Well, I may, but if anybody's interested, let us know. and I'll start giving one away each show. But
All right, 407 476 8781. Or you can email us at ohbpodcast@gmail.com.
and all
How's
you have
that?
to do is subscribe, and I'll send you the movie.
All right, folks, that's going to do it for another episode of the Oh Brother Podcast. Been your host, Dan Smith. Alongside me, as always, my brother from the same mother, Mike Smith. And we'll be coming at you again next time.
I'm glad we didn't have a rolling blackout during the show. Bye,
That's right.
everyone.
We're having a heat wave, a
A
tropical
heat wave.
See you later, putz.
Bye, everyone.